Welcome everybody here for the Juicy Fruit Xfinity Series here, round number 7 at Watkins Glen International Road Course here in New York. Scott Roush and teammate Andy Thomas start in the front row here with the green flag, and there it is, a great jump from Scott Roush as he has a great restart on him. As you see the rest of the field back there kind of getting stacked up. Roush leads them into turn number 1 as Andy Thomas drives the corner a bit wide, and here comes Kyle Keith down to the bottom of the track to take second away, and just like that, the top two have checked out from the rest of the field here. There you see Matt McIntyre, Andy Thomas fighting for position down in the inside line. Matt McIntyre fighting back, but here they come towards the bus stop here, a rather notorious place to make mistakes here, and that could be the leading factor here for cautions here in the racetrack today here at Watkins Glen. We saw some in the Cup race, but that happened near in the S area as they all actually drive it rather clean there. But Scott Roush currently leading over Kyle Keith. There's the rest of the field coming down here with several laps left, 14 laps in the race. So a rather short race for the Xfinity regulars here. Scott Roush trying to pull off to a solid gap over to the rest of the pack there. Charles Sanford, a couple of others near the back here. Robbie Jackson trying to get a charge on. He missed a race this season. Dylan Schwallenberg and contact there. And there goes Alex May spinning around in the middle of the stretch and hit hard by Luis Hernandez as the car goes for a wild ride. Caution is out again. The yellow flag out for the first time today. Alex May went for a wild tumble down the front straightaway, and that car somehow kept going, but I think they're going to be done for the day today. Robbie Jackson drove the corner a bit too wide. Schwallenberg got into the back of the 39, and Alex May went for a spin. You see a lot of cars doing a great job actually splitting that 43, but by then the track's blocked. Hernandez gets shoved by the 10 there, and into there's Cole Baker. There's the 26, a Christian Master there. I believe that might have been the points leader, Steve Pollard. Yes, it was Steve Pollard there. Tough break for the 10 machine there. The points leader coming in. Already having some issues. Keith Batson got collected. Seymour Butts, our Dubai winner there, got collected as well. So a lot of damaged race cars involved here in the early stages at Watkins Glen. Coming to take the green flag here to start lap number 4. Scott Roush will be leading us down. Kyle Keith in second. Thomas third. McIntyre fourth. And we have a Pollard in fifth there. Robert Pollard. Green flag is back out. Scott Roush had a great jump yet again. Matt McIntyre now taking an opportunity to look down low. Here he comes into turn number 1, trying now break Andy Thomas. And he does. Thomas drives it way wide off the track, and Robert Pollard's there to attack the number 16. As Thomas is falling back on this restart there. There you see Robbie Jackson and Dylan Schwallenberg trying to team up to get around the 16 car. As here they come. There's the rest of the pack there. There's Eli Bright there with some damage. He hit the wall off the last corner. As there you see Jackson down the inside. He gets around him. He drives it wide off the track. Schwallenberg's there to attack. And Jackson holds on to it, but Thomas is going to fight back on that outside line. Here comes Schwallenberg down the inside, trying to look underneath the 39, try to loosen that car up from the quarter panel. And it didn't quite work as the top 4 have gone single file. The battle for 5th is on. Thomas now outbraking Schwallenberg in the corner. Schwallenberg drives it wide, but there you see Marty Johnson not too far behind trying to get into the picture as well. Rancho Cucamonga now fighting back as they come to a conclusion of lap number 4. The rest of the pack trying to get themselves gathered around here as Roush leads that 4th lap. Here comes Matt McIntyre looking for win number 2 of the season. He won Coca-Cola, now he's looking to win Watkins Glen here today. He's not really had the best of runs this season besides that win. So he's looking forward to getting 2 wins to secure himself a spot here. As there you see some calamity near the back half of the field here. Top 15 area was Nathan Hudson, Jeffrey Finguy, Jonathan Zorlin. There you see Kelly Boston. That's actually not Kelly Boston, but Kyle Matthews. And several others there coming into the S's there. Rather a big miss of cars there. Massive wad. As Finguy now gets into the grass as Hudson fights back. He's got some side damage to the right side of his Cowan machine. But Finguy's been really quiet, trying to get himself back up into the field here. Off the last corner, you see Robert Pollard driving the car a bit too wide there, driving a bit hot. As Robbie Jackson now looking to reel in the number 19 for position here. Jackson really just been on a bit of a charge here these last couple laps here. As Emmanuel Hartnett now looking underneath Marty Johnson for position there. And Hartnett, the Boston winner, trying to cool things down here. He's been rather quiet today as the caution is out. Looks like we might have had an incident out of the last corner there. Stephen Pollard III with a lot of damage to the front end of his race car. Meanwhile, the cars that didn't take the line will be racing it back down. Scott Roush still holding on to that lead. Matt McIntyre second. Kyle Keith in third. Roush drives it wide, and Matt McIntyre sees this as an opportunity to get around that number 60 there. They both drive it a bit wide there. Stephen Pollard III, Robert Pollard, trying to hold on for position here from Robbie Jackson there. The hard-charging Robbie Jackson doing a great job in the 39. As here he comes down the inside lane. Can't quite make it work. The 39, they're still side by side, and I think Robbie Jackson might have taken the spot just there, but he hits the wall really hard off the last corner. And Robert Pollard will be able to hold on to fourth as Jackson falls back a couple spots there at the end. But Scott Roush leads him back to the line. And indeed it was off the last corner. Stephen Pollard III tried to avoid the swerving Randy Vanderpoepen, and Jesse Dalton really had nowhere to go. And that really just put the 89 hard into the inside wall. And that's the reason our caution came out. Lots of heavy damage to the Racing for Jesus machine there. And it's going to be a tough break for them here today. Coming to take the green flag, we got a car blowing up near the back. That's Annie Thomas in the 16, who had an excellent run coming in here initially. As her day will end up with a blown engine here today. Scott Roush leads them down here for what possibly could be another last restart here, but green flag is back in the air. Scott Roush had an excellent restart there that time around. Rancho Cucamonga diving corner number 1 really hard on Robbie Jackson's car. And looks like he could be able to a successful dive bomb from Rancho Cucamonga. But Robbie Jackson's fighting back with Chris Dodd not too far behind the 3 machine. And Emmanuel Hartnett's right there as well. They are all battling within the top 10 as the top few cars are pulling away here with Scott Roush still leading all of the laps so far in this race. But Matt McIntyre could be able to challenge that 60 car. And they all drive it pretty wide there. Rancho Cucamonga not one of the few that didn't drive it too hard there. But they're all within a little bit of an even pack there. As there you see the rest of the field of cars still within a wad and in a blanket here. A couple of them not running too well, kind of underperforming in the equipment. Some are outperforming themselves today, like Robert Pollard, for example. The Pollards have been doing rather fantastic this season. It's either a hit or miss for those cars, so. But meanwhile, Scott Roush still holding on to the lead, but Matt McIntyre had a better corner there. Emmanuel Hartnett slapping the wall off that last corner there. And there's a lot more hitting that wall, and we've got more trouble. Jesse Dalton slapping the inside wall. He got hooked into the barrier there, and a lot of damage to the 24 TriStar machine. No caution out on the track, though, but Dalton's race is most likely done for the day. We've got more trouble in turn 1. Eric Rodriguez, Randy Vanderpoepen, Stephen Pollard III spun around, and still no caution. Looks like they both wheel hop the corner there. But Scott Roush still holding on to that lead here with 5 laps to go. Into the bus stop. McIntyre way wide. Kyle Keith did the same thing, as well as a lot of other drivers here. And there you see Cody Lamas quietly ranking his way back up, as a lot of them are going to have to get themselves into the bus stop rather easily here. As a lot of these drivers are all hungry for a win. Scott Roush, he joined into the series late here, replacing Austin Kane, and he's done a good job so far. Or the 60 team. Scott Roush really impressing. Roush Fenway Racing, Mr. Roush himself, they have no relation, but really Roush is doing a great job here. And there you see Hartnett now trying to outbrake Nathan Hudson. Hudson gives some room, drives it a bit off the track there. And there you see JT Bryant. We haven't talked too much about him. He's making his way back up into the future. The fresh from Florida machine. That Mustang has been a bit faster on the longer run here. So we could see JT Bryant maybe get himself into the top 10 sooner or later, as Roush still continuing to lead that field down. He's really done a great job here today, showing us the dominance of what could be a potential road course ringer, or just one guy just trying to improve his driving skills here. So Scott Roush, certainly one of the few drivers you might want to look out for. He has an average finish of 11th place in 2 starts. Haven't finished inside the top 10 quite yet, but he's been rather close so many times here today. As Roush now trying to hold on here with 3 laps to go over Matt McIntyre, a winner of the series here, with Kyle Keith not too far behind. Then you got Robert Pollard and Dylan Schwalberg rounding out your top 5. A battle for position right there. Sekuli with a great braking zone there. He had some good, excellent braking techniques there, as Sekuli took a spot away from Drew Austin. Same thing with Kyle Matthews, and Jackson passes the 28 and the S is there. So you always have to carry a lot of speed down that section of the corner. That's where you can gain some track position there. But Scott Roush has really maintained his pace over the 97 of Matt McIntyre. Kyle Keith just quietly running in that 3rd spot. That's really all they need, are good points, because they haven't had a good season really, to be quite honest here. They are 37th in the point standings with an average finish of a 29.50. But Matt McIntyre just trying to close into the door of the 60. And I think he gains a lot more in the exit of that last corner, because you can see you can make so many mistakes on that racetrack there. And Hartnett's in the wall, a lot of cars scrambling, and there he spins around right in front of the field. Nathan Hudson gets swept up in it, and I think that might have just been the race right there. Scott Roush is currently your leader, but they have to be racing it back down towards the line, as those that did not take it will be having to race themselves into this. As Scott Roush looking for his first victory here in just his 3rd start here in the Juicy Fruit Xfinity Series. He's having to do the best he can here as McIntyre drives it wide. That might have called the race there for him. As there you see Chris Dodd now trying to get around Rancho Cucamonga on the outside line. And knowing the wideness of that corner, that didn't really quite work there. As Scott Roush still holding on that lead in that Zest machine, the driver who started on the pole. Can he win the race here today at Watkins Glen? Here they come. Into the last corner they go. Matt McIntyre trying to catch him. Here they come. It's not going to work. And Scott Roush will be taking it to the yellow flag here. And that is also our white flag lap. That is it here. I think Scott Roush might have just won this race due to it ending under caution. The lights are still on, so this race will end under caution. And Scott Roush, who dominated this whole race here, led all of the laps in this race here today. Here they come out of the last corner for the last time here today at Watkins Glen. Scott Roush for Roush Fenway Racing. Here he comes to the checkered flag. He will be able to take a victory here in the Juicy Fruit Xfinity Series, and this could put him in the chase here if he can pass someone full time in the point standings here today. But Scott Roush, congratulations to him. 3rd start in his career, and he gets a victory here today. One of the better few drivers in the field here. And if you're wondering, Matt McIntyre gets 2nd, just short today. Kyle Keith gets 3rd. Robert Pollard 4th. Dylan Schwalmer gets a top 5 there. Rancho Cucamonga gets a 6th. Great run for the 3 team. Chris Dodd gets a nice 7th place finish. Sekuli 8th, Matthews 9th, and Robbie Jackson rounds out your top 10 here. As you look at the rest of the results here, from 20 all the way down to 28th position here, we still had a lot of cars running near the end of that event there. And there you see only 34 cars were remained in the race, 33 on the lead lap there. But congratulations to Scott Roush on his first victory here in the Juicy Fruit Xfinity Series. In his 3rd start, he's done a rather impressive job. And at that rate, he can pass drivers that have been struggling here. Maybe Alex Mayamos in the point standings here. But give a shout out to Scott Roush today. He'll be in victory lane here at Watkins Glen.